Dear guests, it is an honor to speak to you today, albeit through your screens across the world at this strange time when meeting in person is impossible. We very much look forward to the opportunity to welcome you to Reykjavik next year. The current pandemic could be described as a microcosm of climate change. Both are inherently global and show no respect for state borders. Both disproportionately impact the poor and the vulnerable. Both call for government intervention at a scale we have rarely, if ever, seen. It would therefore seem safe to say that a gathering of the leading economic minds in public finance, natural resources, and climate change could hardly be more timely, though time itself may in all this perhaps be a strange measurement. The pandemic has warped the world at such a pace, it seems we may only fully comprehend the scale once enough time has passed to give the benefit of hindsight. Changes to our planet's natural rhythm, however, have been slow and often silent, moving outside of our collective consciousness, even as they have shifted gear, turning from a normal geological pace to the human one that we have created. Yet, neither challenge has received the collective global response it needs. In his new book, Time and Water, Icelandic author and activist Andri Snær Magnason urges us to contemplate the concept of time. He quotes a poem by Guðmundur Páll Ólafsson: "You protect only what you love only what you know only what you are taught." Magnason asks us to consider how many years into the future we can reach through our relationships with the people we hold dearest. When is someone still alive that you love? If my sons have grandchildren, and if those children are fortunate enough to reach old age, then someone I've known and loved might be alive in the year of 2840. If we don't act soon, then that someone will have lived the catastrophic consequences of our collective inaction. Thinking through generations fundamentally shifts the frame of reference. Perhaps there is an opportunity to do something similar in the field of economics as well. We know only what we are taught, writes the poet. In economics and in politics, we have been taught to know, focus on, and measure ourselves by growth, by GDP. Economics is still centered on the measurable and quantifiable. Growth is considered not only essential, but unequivocally positive, regardless of how it is achieved and at what cost. GDP is a narrow measurement that tries to capture a world that is broad, diverse, and interlinked, and we should be able to do better in our measurements. Along with Scotland, Wales, and New Zealand, Iceland has joined the Wellbeing Economy Government's project, and together we have, humbly, set out to do just that. And we hope that these small countries can help form new economic thinking for the 21st century within the context of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. One of our main goals is to ensure that economic policy supports the collective well-being of current and future generations. That is, how happy and healthy a population is, not just how wealthy. My government has developed 39 indicators that include economic, environmental, and social factors to track our well-being progress. Based on these indicators, we have determined that the 6 areas where we most need to improve: mental health, secure housing, better work-life balance, zero carbon emission, innovation growth, and better communication with the public. These are now our well-being priorities, and they will guide the 5-year fiscal strategy we will put forward this October. Now, Iceland's economic outlook, the baseline for the new 5-year fiscal strategy, has changed drastically in the past few months, as it has everywhere, and there is still great uncertainty as to what the coming months and years might hold. But we do believe that the well-being economy priorities, grounded in well-defined and measurable indicators, can help to ensure we don't lose sight of our goals. The IMF predicts that rich countries will borrow 70% of their combined GDP this year to fund $4.2 trillion in spending and tax cuts designed to keep the economy going. This is of course not news to any of you, but I am sure you are all engaged in the ongoing discussion on where those funds should come from, who should decide how they are spent, and how these spending decisions should be made. The role of central banks and interest rates, of governments and deficits is yet again under critical review. Since the 1930s, we have moved from Keynes to Friedman and onto what might be called a synthesis of the two, with the emergence of flexible inflation targeting at the turn of the century. Now, many claim that this dominant economic paradigm needs improving. This comes at a time when we as societies grapple with such enormous challenges as climate change and systematic inequality, both of which are intertwined not only with the current pandemic, but with our entire economies. Dear guests, your field is at the intersection of many of the most pressing challenges our society faces today. And right now is a unique opportunity for governments to act at an unprecedented scale for real change. We should do so with discipline and inclusive measures of success, using the opportunity in front of us to ensure that important balance of society, economy, and environment for the greater good of society and current and coming generations. Thank you.